What's going on YouTube? Welcome to Automotive Life, and this is Automotive Update. We're coming live from the auction today. Basically got some dealers here. We're training them how to buy cars, good cars, bad cars, wrecked cars, salvage cars, all the stuff. So I wanted to make a video actually from the auction just to kind of show you. So right now I'm walking and you can see behind me, we have over 3,500 Hurtz cars just here in Las Vegas. So these are all rental cars. I'm gonna pop out on a few of these ones and go over, there's some that are damaged, that are wrecked, the reason why you don't really need to go to Copart or IAAI to actually get a great deal on a damaged vehicle. And plus, if you buy it with body damage, and you buy it here and it's a clean title, we can still sell it to the banks, we can still sell it to the credit unions, and that's what I want to do. So today is basically just typical automotive update. I want to give you guys some information of what's going on. So like I said, right now the auctions, I wanted to come here today because the prices, even though sales have dropped dramatically across the United States, the idiots are still overpaying for cars. Now, the good thing is a lot of these cars ran last week and they did not meet the reserve. So what that tells me is that the banks and everybody else still think that the market's hot, so they're asking for a lot of money. But the dealers are not paying that because they're not having the sales to back it up. So little by little, the prices are going. So some of these cars that you see behind me have ran 3 weeks in a row as no sales or if bids. Now, after this happens so many times, the banks have no choice but to lower their price to get rid of the vehicles, because every week there's another, couple hundred to add up, another couple hundred. And if you could see, I mean, the line is just massive. And this is just one part. This is like 7 Walmart parking lots full of cars, all the repos, all the stuff. So right now they're trying to choke the supply to say, oh, there's not a lot of used cars out there, so they don't want to tank the market. But I mean, this is just one section of the whole auction, and I mean, it is massive. I mean, there's tons and tons of used cars that are basically been sitting from repos to just forfeits to dealers going out of business. There's another lane over here that's where all the flooring lines come to repo their cars. They got them locked up over here. So the dealers have at least 60 days to either make payments, get right, so they can get the cars back, something like that. And unfortunately, a lot of these dealers are gonna lose their vehicles. So right now is a very, very crazy time. So like I said, today what we're doing is I got a few dealers over here. I have them looking at some cars, scanning them. We're showing them how to use the apps so they can see what MMR is, auction price, what their auto checks look like. I'm having them basically pick out a few cars and tell me which ones they should buy and why, and then we'll go over like how the banks work with them and everything else. So it's pretty neat. So we do offer training. If you're here in Vegas, message me on Instagram. I'll go over the stuff like that. If you want to do a Zoom conference, I also do that as well. I do show up to your location, but I'll have to go into that. That's a completely different other thing. But basically, like I said, I wanted to just, people don't realize how many repos are at the auction right now, and so many dealers are overpaying. So I'm telling them just to be patient, because I can literally walk for the next 3 hours and make an insanely long video, and you'll see just tons and tons of cars. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I said, I've been looking all morning. We've been here since 6. It's probably about 10 a.m. right now, and we haven't even gone through about 20% of the cars. I mean, it's just, there's so many cars, and there's so many the same. Like this right here, this is like the Hyundai lane. I mean, literally, like every freaking Hyundai in the rental fleet is actually at this location, which is hilarious. So if you're looking for a Hyundai, come to Vegas. We got 3,300 of them over here. But another thing I wanted to talk about as well is what's going on with the financing. Now, I talked a little bit about it in my last video, that a lot of the banks are pulling the 84 months out of most banks, or excuse me, most dealerships. We had our last one pull out. Navy Fed, same thing. They will not do 84 months unless they're top tier. It's got to be a brand new car. They won't do it on used cars anymore. So a lot of these banks are getting rid of that because the people are so upside down in their vehicles, and they're taking the hits at the auction when they take the cars there, for the depreciated value, for the people racking up a bunch of miles. A lot of my banks put really strict things in there. If they find out you're doing Uber or Lyft, they automatically either raise your interest, which I don't know, they're trying to get around some state law where they're allowed to do that, or they're just going to totally cancel your loan. So if you do Postmates on the side, even if you bought this vehicle for if you bought this car behind me for your family, but you have another car that you use for Uber, they will automatically deny your loan. So it's getting really, really strict out there. Financing is pretty much drying up in a lot of places. We're actually working right now trying to get a few hedge funds and a few private chunks of money together to start our own in-house financing so we can actually get everything going. Now, I believe that we shouldn't be that far away from making it happen. We're pretty close, but we just got a few more meetings. I gotta go to New York and talk to some people. Sorry, I look around. If any of you guys have ever been to the auctions, you have to, because they drive like idiots. I mean, they fly through here, driving through with golf carts, tow trucks. So if you're not looking around, you're literally gonna get ran over. So, but like I said, I mean, it's just amazing. Like, let me lift this up. I don't know if you can see all that. And that is just one little tiny piece of actually what's out there. It's insane. Let me walk over here and we'll start the video again. Real quick, this is one of the reasons why I want to show you this. So if you see this body damage right here on this Hurtz car, it's not that bad. It's a few small dents, but it's going to go like 3 to 4 grand back of MMR. So this car is at about 10.5. We're probably going to get it for around maybe, hopefully about 6,000 bucks, maybe 6.5. But then you have this massive gap where you can make some really good money. And this is a clean title car, so you can actually sell it to different banks, credit unions, stuff like that. So you can actually make a really good pop off of it. So you don't have to get a salvage vehicle to make a few dollars on some of these wrecked cars. I strongly prefer to do the damaged rental cars. Now, if you look behind me, there's over 3,000 Hurtz, Avis, and budget cars sitting here right now. That's just in Las Vegas. So keep that in mind. Out of all these, there's tons of these just like this with some body damage. You can see right here on the door, some frame. Also, we're gonna go look at some of the wrecked ones that are pretty bad. So let's go into that. Okay, we are out of the rental car section right now. We're in the basically used cars, trade-ins, dealer section. You can see behind me just some regular older cars. I just kind of wanted to walk around here just to kind of show you guys some of the vehicles that you're going to be seeing at the auction. Now, right now, there are a lot more newer cars than cheaper used cars because the banks, like I said, are being a lot more strict across the United States. They're not financing as much, so they're more willing to take a chance on somebody instead of like, you know, a brand new Ford Fusion. They'd rather give them this like 2013 for like $899. You know, stuff like this Range Rover right here. Unless you got good credit, don't even mess with it. And if you don't put a service plan on it, don't even mess with it because that thing's gonna blow up. And I know there's gonna be some Range Rover fans that are gonna be triggered right now. I don't like them. I've worked on them all the time. I think they're the biggest pile of junk on earth. But if you like them and you think you're a baller, that's cool. You can keep one of those, you know. But as you can see, as I'm walking by some of these cars, these are not fancy cars. These are just regular cars. And even some of these older ones, like this Blazer here. Stuff like this is still getting repo because people can't make $200-300 payments, and it's getting bad and it's getting worse because everybody else, sorry, wanted to make sure there's a guy coming through there. So one of the guys that we're training picked one of these cars to be his money maker. This is a 2010 Porsche Panamera, 130,000 miles. I think MMR is right around like 11,000. He's probably gonna get it for maybe 8.5. So he thinks he could retail it for like 16-17 grand. Now, don't get me wrong, it has the looks. It's definitely a sharp car, but when you see pre-owned luxury cars beat the crap like this, like look at this. We got duct tape around the headlight. We got zip ties on the bumper. Every panel's got a dent. The roof is faded, so they obviously never washed it, waxed it. I guarantee you the maintenance is probably gonna kill him. So I advised him, don't do it. He says he's gonna buy it. He's gonna prove me wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him do that. I don't think he realizes how much like the timing belts and the transmission pan gasket that's already leaking. I was showing him that, and he thinks that he can fix everything for under like $1,000 in recon, and it's not gonna happen. So this is one of the reasons why I do some of these classes. So some people have to learn the lessons the hard way. So I told him I'd basically would make more money buying this little Eclipse behind him than this actual car, but whatever, teach their own. Let him pick that up, you know. But so far so good. Everybody's picking up the training. People are laughing as far as what they can actually buy, because everybody thinks that we buy cars for like 50% of the costs, which is 100% not true. You know, when we buy stuff, sometimes we only get it, you know, a few $1,000s, maybe $1 or $2 grand behind retail, which sucks because the market is really bad right now. Now, back in the day, yeah, we used to have huge margins, and we used to get really great cars. I mean, just absolute cream puffs that are super clean for under book. Now you got to get cars like that Porsche beat up, destroyed, and they still want, even the banks, they want MMR. You can say, hey, look at the car, it's got dents on every panel, it's a piece of junk. The banks will still want full price for the car because they know that somebody out there is stupid enough to pay for it. Somebody's got a credit line, they sold 3 cars this week and they feel like taking a chance, so that's what they're hoping for. But you know, today's lesson is basically all about just taking your time purchasing the auctions. Like I said, prices are slowly going down, inventory's building up. I'm in a completely different part of the auction, and even this space is completely full too as well, with all kinds of 2 or 3 year old previous luxury vehicles, rentals, lots of trucks, which is rare. Usually you don't see a lot of trucks at the auction because here trucks, they just, people keep them, you know, they're working people's trucks, so they use them for construction. They use them basically to make money. So when I see a lot of trucks up for sale, it scares me, because those are cars that usually hardly ever come to the auction, especially here in Vegas. If you live in Texas, they're everywhere, but here these things are like gold. So we're probably going to pick up some trucks for the dealership today, a few of the damaged Hurtz cars that we're going to get for really cheap. I was trying to film there, but unfortunately we weren't allowed to film. Actually, it's pretty cool. One of the guys was a subscriber to the channel, so shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys watching. But they told me, you know, that they weren't allowed to have anybody film, so I said no problem. You know, I want to make sure we stick by the rules, because like I said, they are very cool. They let me do training classes, they let me help other dealers, so it's a big important part that I have a good relationship with this auction house. I just wanted to post something really quick just so I can keep you guys updated of what's going on at the auctions. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. If you want to put a comment down below with a question or anything else, or if you want to put toast again, I always laugh when I see those comments, or something random, truly appreciate it. Like and share this thing, because it really means a lot. There's not a lot of people giving out good information as far as helping dealers and helping other people getting in the automotive industry. So we'd love for us to share our channel as many people as we can and find more subscribers like you guys. And also follow us on Instagram at automotive.life, and be sure to check out our website at automotivelife.com, and we'll see you guys in the next video.